Hello and good morning. I am so excited for our Power 30 today because I love like straight up trainings, which I haven't done in a while. So I was really excited that LeighAnne said yes when I asked her. And you are going to absolutely love this teaching. Um, because who doesn't like some John Maxwell? And um, and maybe you know LeighAnne, maybe you don't, okay? But don't let her quietness, she's a quiet one, but stealth, that's what I say. She is a certified John Maxwell trainer. She went through all the training. Like that is a big deal. I always thought, you know what? That would be something really cool to do, but I've never actually set out to do that. So LeighAnne is on our team under me. She is a homeschooling mom to three, and she loves helping other women. Like you can tell when she is in her element, she is thriving when she's helping other moms. And from my perspective, it's because her life really changed with Plexus. And then so she was, the person, the body, the healthy LeighAnne that God created. And now she can go out and help serve other women. So, from not just surviving to thriving. So LeighAnne is going to be teaching a little bit, and we're kind of on a time constraint. You guys know that on every other Thursday we've got Mastermind, which you need to strive to be in Ruby and above. LeighAnne will be in that group because she is a senior Ruby. And so she's going to tell us a little bit about personal growth, why we need it every day. So I'm going to let you take it away, LeighAnne.
So, hello everyone. And as Cheryl said, I am a senior Ruby under Cheryl. I've been with Plexus now for 5 years. And I am excited to talk to you about personal growth and why do we need personal growth and how to be consistent in your personal growth. And I can just tell you from experience, when I started my journey with Plexus 5 years ago and started building the business, I actually would roll my eyes at when they would tell me, you need to do mindset and you need to do personal growth. And I hated it. I owned no self-help books. I didn't do it. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was a waste of time. But Cheryl said, just trust the process. So the actual first mindset thing that I personally did was a 21-day challenge to listen to Les Brown's It's Not Over Till You Win. And I thought that was the most cheesy thing I had ever heard in my life till the end of the 21 days. And then I started seeing how it was impacting me and impacting my thoughts and impacting my attitude. And I thought, there actually might be something to this mindset and personal growth stuff. So that led me to finding John Maxwell and Jim Rohn, who really resonated with me, which led me to joining the Maxwell leadership team. And I just love all things John Maxwell. And so I'm speaking today from his book, The 15 Laws of Growth, which I don't know if you know anything about John Maxwell, but he literally has 90 books. So when you're looking at the content that is just from him, it becomes very overwhelming of where do you even start? But the Maxwell leadership team actually recommends his 15 laws of growth as the beginning point of personal growth. And this is what the book looks like. And it's broken down into 15 laws that actually are specific to personal growth. And I'm going to be teaching from the law of consistency, which is number 5. And actually, these concepts can be applied to anything that you want to develop consistency with. But I'm speaking specifically today about personal growth. So first, why is growing and personal growth even important? Why do we do it? So here's the thing. Everybody wants to be the best version of themselves. Everybody wants to reach their full potential. But if you do the same thing every day, day after day, then 5 years from now, you're still going to be the same person and doing the same thing that you did 5 years ago. So to reach your full potential requires you to continually grow. And John Maxwell says, not reaching your potential is like dying with music still inside you that's never been heard. And your growth plan will be just as unique as you are unique. And not everybody's looks the same. And like I said, when I started, it was like, what in the world? But what I found is over the last 5 years, the growth that I have done is probably one of the key biggest benefits of my Plexus journey, because I know without a doubt that I would not be who I am today, where I am today, doing what I'm doing today, if it had not been for that beginning start of personal growth when I signed up and started building the business under Cheryl. As you grow, your thoughts change, which change your attitudes, it changes your perspective, and it changes your habits. So here's the key. We've heard the phrase consistency compounds, and what that means is small steps every day add up to a huge effect. So, yes, consistency for personal growth is so important, but how do you become consistent? So there are three components of helping you build consistency with your personal growth. And I'll read them and then I'm going to dive into each one a little bit. Number one is you need to know how to develop your growth and improve. Number two is you need to be growth focused, not goal focused. And number three is you need to be consistently productive. So number one is knowing how to develop your growth. Well, that starts with knowing what you need to improve in. Do you need to grow in belief? Do you need to grow in skills? Do you need to grow in leadership? So, it's not about your talent. It's not about the opportunities, but it's about developing the discipline of being consistent. So, when you expand yourself, you're also expanding your horizons, you're expanding your options, you're expanding your opportunities, as well as your potential, which grows to your fullest best self. George Lorimer says you must wake up every morning with determination. Notice he didn't say motivation. He said determination if you want to go to bed with satisfaction. So you have to take a moment and evaluate yourself of what's the next level you want to reach and how do you get to the next level and your best self, and determine what those needs are, and then look for a way to implement that into your life. And you have to develop the discipline of commitment to grow daily. If you want to become more disciplined and consistent in your performance and your success, you also need to become more consistent and disciplined in your growth. You need to know how to stay committed. So, like when I started with the Maxwell team, it was the platform that they have you go on to start your training literally is just mind-boggling and overwhelming. And they even actually have us a training about how to move through the overwhelm. And the thing that they keep saying is start small, start small, start small. And so he has this firm belief of do a little, learn a little, do a little, learn a little, do a little. So you start small where you're at, and you strive for a 1% improvement every day. A lot of people look back, and I've seen this on our team, and I know I was guilty of it, of seeing that person who did the fast start really fast, and they have the rock star that comes on. And what they're not accounting for is a lot of people, whether it's in Plexus or other businesses, when they have the overnight success, what they're not seeing is the days and the months and the years behind the scene that they've been working on themselves and doing the work and doing the development and doing the growth to lead to the skills that they need for the overnight success. Very rarely do you have anybody that just, boom, it happens, it stays, and they're the rock star without the growth. Growth does not happen by accident. You have to be intentional and you have to be consistent with it. Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. And if you try to go full steam ahead, you will become overwhelmed and frustrated. So you start small, pick one small thing to do every single day, even if it's just listening to a podcast for 5 minutes or reading for 10 minutes a day. It will add up. That's where the phrase consistency compounds comes in. My favorite thing to listen to is Audible because of some things in my past that I dealt with as a child. Reading is very slow for me. So to sit down and read a book sometimes becomes just like, oh, it's too much. I have learned this thing called Audible Books. That's fantastic because I can put it on while I'm making the bed, while I'm cooking dinner, while I'm in the car, and I love it. And I can fly through a book within just a very short amount of time. You also need to be patient because growth does take time. Everything worthwhile takes dedication and time, and you need to measure yourself against how far you've come rather than how far you still need to go. If you look at the end goal and keep measuring yourself against the space that you've got to go to, you will become discouraged. So you always need to measure your growth backwards of how far you've come. And remember the compound effect. Don't forget that, those seemingly insignificant things that don't feel like they matter and don't feel like they're working do add up. Over time, it makes a radical difference in who you are. I wish everybody on this call could see who I was 5 years ago and the difference that I am today. And then value the process. Anything worthwhile is difficult when you start, and it's difficult before it becomes easy. So embrace the challenge, embrace the struggle, and enjoy the journey as you change and you grow. Because anytime we embrace change, there is a little bit of growing pains that go with it. And so when you start personal growth, you're going to be challenged by your thoughts. You're going to be challenged by your habits. You're going to be challenged to shift and change things in your life. And there's some resistance that's going to come. So embrace the journey with that. And here's one of the most important things. You have to know your why. Your why has to be connected to your growth. And your why has to be deep enough to motivate you and keep you going when the personal growth seems tedious and it seems like it's not adding up. And when life gets in the way. How many of us have kids and things at home that are constantly standing in the way of whatever we want to do? And we have to prioritize and be intentional with what we want to do during the day. I mean, it happens, and it's going to happen with your personal growth. You have to make it a priority. And then when you're doing your why, you have to ask it against what John Maxwell calls the why test. And if you say yes to one of these questions, then your why is not strong enough. And I know Alita, I don't know if she's done it recently, but I know she's talked about going 7 layers deep with your why. I know Cheryl has too. So if you answer yes to any of these questions, you need to go back and revisit your why and take it 7 layers deep to where it really matters, it's emotional to you, and you will move everything within your power to make it happen. So here you go. You ready? Do you procrastinate for important tasks? Do you require coaxing to do small chores? Just like, do you need that instant reward to feel like you need to get it done? Do you perform duties just to get by and do that bare minimum? I'm just going to do what I have to do on my IPA to barely scratch the surface today. Or do you go beyond? Do efforts of friends to encourage you when you're discouraged irritate you rather than motivate you? Do you start projects and then abandon them? And do you avoid self-improvement opportunities that actually challenge you? So if you said yes to any of those questions, you need to go back and look at your why and go 7 layers deep with it. And when are you supposed to do personal growth improvement? The answer is today and every day. Your habits decide your future. Did you know that? Did you know that you don't just get up and decide what your future is going to be? Your habits that you're creating today decide what your future is going to be a week, a month, or even a year down the road. So you need to develop a consistent habit of daily growth every day and not just wait for, I just feel like I'm going to do it today. Because if you wait till you feel like it, you'll never get it done. And let me tell you, if you struggle with developing habits, a great book to read is Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's fantastic. And then the second component of how to become consistent is be growth focused rather than goal focused. So stay with me because goals are great and we all need to have goals that we're set and that we're working for. But your goals that you set need to be encompassed inside your growth plan. So like, for instance, I want to move to the top of the company. That's my desire. But my first goal is to re-rank Senior Ruby. But if my focus is solely on Senior Ruby, then when I hit that goal, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm done. But if you're growth focused about, I want to move towards the top of the company, then I'm working to develop myself to look like, act like, think like, behave like a diamond, not a Senior Ruby. So my growth is focused on where I want to go, not my current goal. But my goal is set inside my personal growth, if that makes sense. So because goals are short vision, growth is long vision. And you want your focus to be on the long haul, because as you grow, you will continue to move forward towards your goals that you've set, as well as beyond into your full potential. And here's the key. If you believe in yourself and the potential that is inside you, then growth enables you to expand and reach the goals as you grow, moving towards that next level. So remember, being goal focused is focused on just the destination. Growth focused is focused on the whole journey and moving towards your highest potential. The third component is be consistently productive. And what I mean by that is don't wait for motivation to happen. If you wait till you get up one morning and you feel motivated, then guess what? It's probably not going to happen that day. You don't get to work because you're inspired. You become inspired because you got to work. So as you work and as you build the consistency, then it creates a habit, and then the motivation comes. The more you hear, the more you're inspired, the more you're encouraged. And waiting is often merely an excuse for not producing. How many times have we heard the phrase, are you getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready? Be consistent. Being consistent is the answer for productivity. Remember, perfect is great, but done is better. And that applies to anything. So if you're waiting to get ready to get ready to get ready, that is a form of procrastination. And you need to cut that out and just start small and start today. Michael Anger says, if you develop the habits of success, you'll make success a habit. Now, I'm going to say that again. I want you to pause a minute and I want you to think about that and really think about what that means. If you develop the habits of success, you'll make success a habit. And personal growth is one of those habits. So what are you creating today? What habits are you developing? Because you're developing something. Every day you're developing a habit. It's either a habit that is serving you or a habit that is hindering you. So you need to take stock of what are your habits that you do every day. What do you do? What do you need to create to have a better habit? And what do you need to undo in your life to allow for better habits to create? And let me tell you, one of the key components of developing the consistency as a habit is you have to schedule it into your day. You have to be intentional about when, where, how, and what you're going to do for your personal growth. Being consistently productive does not mean grinding away at the work every day, just doing it to do it, just doing it to do it. But it simply means the consistent person is the productive person. What is that 1% that you're going to do? What small action can you take today to grow to the next level? And in Atomic Habits, he talks about the 1% level of growth. If you make 1% change today, that adds up to 365% change through the year. So think about that. Think about if you do 1% level of growth today, where are you going to be a year from now? Now, I am a firm believer in what John Maxwell says about do a little or learn a little, do a little, don't learn a little, do a little. And one of the things that I have learned is when you're giving a training, you need to also give actionable steps that can be implemented, because it doesn't do anything. If you're going to do personal growth, it doesn't do good to just be a sponge and hear it and learn it and absorb it and hear it and learn and absorb it, unless you do the implementation with it. Implementation of what you learned is a key component for the personal growth to take effect and bring the change around. So here are a few things that are actionable steps that you can do. First, figure out what motivates you. Figure out who you align with and who speaks to you. For me, when I started, it was John Maxwell and Jim Rohn, and I ate up every video that I could find on YouTube with them. So find people that resonate with you. Find YouTube videos that you can listen to. Find somebody who has a podcast that you can listen to. Power 30 and our community team huddles are a fantastic place to get plugged in every day. And, find a coach, find a mentor. I have a coach outside of Plexus that I listen to, and I'm part of their community that does training and does development with me. And I know, Alita and Cheryl and Megan have done Keith Callahan and brought a lot of his trainings here. And then, find things, also find webinars and conferences to attend. Do you know that there are so many free webinars that are available? When you start plugging into podcasts, a lot of them will provide free webinars that you can get connected to. The key is find it and make it happen. And I will say this, some of them do cost money, but the greatest investment that you can ever make is investing in yourself to grow. And when I first started, I thought $150 was a huge price tag to do a training on. But let me tell you, it was so worth every penny. And if you actually pay to go to a conference or a webinar, you're going to be more invested in it. And so you're going to take the time to do it. Consistency is a muscle that gets stronger with exercise. So like I said, do it every single day. Make it a priority, put it in your calendar, stick to it, and get it done. Even if it's, there have been times where I've actually said, but I'm in bed, I'm sitting, I was like, oh man, I didn't get my reading done today. And I'll click the lamp on, pull my book out and do 2 or 3 pages of reading. Just make it a priority to where you don't go to bed at night unless you've done your personal growth. Develop your why to stand against the why test. So take some time to go back and revisit your why and connect your why of what you're doing to where you want to be and develop a plan to get you to that point. And evaluate, like, what are your skills that you want to learn? What are the things that you need to develop to get you where you want to be? And then celebrate your growth. Celebrate today. I read 2 pages in a book today that I didn't read yesterday. That is something to celebrate. So celebrate those small wins of that 1% change and growth that you do. And stay focused on the long-term outcome of being consistent and growing daily. Remember that it's the small, insignificant steps that are going to add up to radical change. So remember that what you do today, tomorrow, in the next month, and in next year will impact who you are down the road. Keep that in front of you and stay focused on your growth. And develop a growth plan that will enable you to grow into who you want to be. And that's something that I know Cheryl posted in her chat that I'm going to be teaching on Monday night. And that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about is how do you be intentional with personal growth, and how do you develop a growth plan to develop what you need and where you want to go. So, Cheryl, that's all I've got. I hope it's helped you understand the importance of personal growth and how to develop consistency and actionable steps to make it consistent and a daily habit for your growth. And I think we're a little bit under time. So if we have questions or comments or anything, I haven't been watching the chat. It distracts me when I'm trying to teach. So I don't, I don't watch the chat. So I don't know if anybody's asking any questions as I've been talking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like that, you guys, was that so freaking good? Like, I'm just like, Dana, I mean, it was so good. No wonder you were like, I don't know if I can get it all in. Like, it's like, it just reminds me how much I love training, like, specific trainings and John Maxwell, and just there, you had so many good points. Like, even just thinking about, like, are you determined? What a great question to ask yourself. Like, are you determined? Like, or are you going to get little things like no's or a bad day, or I mean, we all have bad days, bad moods, like different, you know what I mean? Or I'm so busy, I can't do this. And just like you said, there's so many times where all of us, jewel, like almost jewels and above, or whoever, it could be silvers for all I know, that you like get your butt out of bed or whatever and do the things. I remember when Ali Sullivan was going emeralds, and even Megan is like, they would hop into bed. And sometimes it's hard having your spouse as your accountability partner, but it's like, did you message those people, or did you put whatever? And they literally have to get out of bed and go do it. That's a determined person. And the other thing that I took away was, because we are going to have to hop off, is that small steps equal radical changes. And I was just telling Jada this last night. We're all having crazy weeks, right? But do something every day. And I'm telling you, it adds up. LeighAnne, thank you. I can't wait for Monday night. And we will see you all. Thank you.